Okay, let's go. This is the latest collab between Zeos and a company. This is a set that is called the Kinera Nan. I think that's the name of it. I don't know a lot about the original, except that Zeos was a huge fan and proponent of the original, so this would seem to be an appropriate collaboration. A set that he really liked, and now he put his own little spin on it. Before we continue, for the people, the people's champ. Remember I said the C audio Yume? Let's do that. Oh, I got something else for you today too. Let's take care of business first though. Look at that. It's got it in there. And a spin. And this person gets the Yume 2. Shipped worldwide. I'm gonna wipe it down. I had COVID. I'll wipe it down with alcohol. At Leo U1070. And I'm not going to remove you because yeah, I am actually, because in a future video I have to redo all the people that commented. Now let's talk about the next event before we continue with this review. So Leo, this is yours, bro. I need you to contact me. Look at the about section of my channel, look at the email, contact me by email. This will be sent out. Stuff got slow. I had COVID. I just had a baby on the 24th. I'm sorry. My fiance had a baby. Took credit for that. Pretty easy, didn't I? That was a lot of work for her. The stuff will be going out. This is a really expensive set. This is like $800 to $900. Is this a set to give to people just because I comment? I'll tell you what. If I get 1,000 comments under this video, this is going out. If I don't, then the alternative is actually pretty interesting too. It's a Dunu SA6 Ultra, which was his collaboration, that was sent to me with my initials on the inside, HBB. I've never opened it. I gave away the original one. So they said, here, thank you for the giveaway. It brought attention. Please take this as a thank you. And I've never used it. It's red on both sides, and then on the inside it's got HBB. So it would be the only Zeos SA6U in the world with another collaborator's initials in the middle. And that's the backup plan. This could be the first one, but I need 1,000 comments below. Like and subscribe. This whole thing, just we all help each other. I don't want to store and keep stuff. You guys help me by doing that. Commenting, liking, and subscribing to my channel helps my channel. Obviously, every channel and every influencer you watch, with whatever genre. The Y-Files is pretty dope, and I watch that a lot lately. It helps the channel. So turning stuff right around and helping you guys, I don't do a lot of comparisons. So this can be sacrificed if we were to get to the goal. Now, let's talk about it for just a second. Before we continue, let's take a look at the frequency graph. That's my updated target, Bad Guy 2022, which is based on the Elysian Acoustic X. This is a dead ringer for that. As a matter of fact, from the sub bass to the mid bass, mids, it's got a gain that starts to take off at about 800. Usually it's closer to 1K. And it peaks at 2K where it's usually 2.5. So some things like vocals and other things might seem slightly forward to you, but that's a very appealing thing for some people, and that's very different from shout, which is when that angle is more abrupt and goes up higher. So we've got no problems there. We've got a dip around 3 and 4, which a lot of people would prefer. There's some energy at 5K. For my own personal library, the only time I find that to be an issue is sometimes with electric guitars with distortion pedals, to be straight up. With cymbals right there, no. With distortion pedals sometimes. Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, a lot of grunge guitarists. That could be, or you just find it to be more energetic and lively. It depends on what you prefer. You got another one at 8K, and then you've got a fall off, but it's actually done quite well. We got ESTs at the end, and there is no fall off. This goes all the way to 16K with info and energy. If there's info there, it'll be there. So the graph actually looks great. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box right here. It's got his sticker on top. Excuse me for just a second. Sorry about that. The one lingering thing from what I came down with is that whooping cough. Take the box off. I'm going to maybe edit this and speed this stuff up if you guys don't want to see it. Nana. Where love goes, so do I. That sounds like a nice place to be honest with you. Open it up. This looks like some other Kineras that I've seen. It's got 2 sets of foam tips that you can see over here. It's got, I don't know if these are, I think these are final tips right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. Then you've got the change terminations. It looks like 3.5 and 2.5 are the ones that are not currently plugged in. Let's take a look at the cable first. I already saw this. I think it looks dope. We've got tips. Let me toss it over there. Got more tips. Let's toss it over there. I don't know if this is the cable that was used recently with Kinera, but this has got a more of a gray silver chromish look to it, and I think it looks really sharp. I like it a lot. I think they had like a brown, looked like the one that Let's Shore is using too. Not a huge fan of that actually, but this looks really nice. I don't know if they put his logo on this. I honestly haven't looked. Looks like there's not a logo there. And we've got Kinera there, and again, this is a removable, the 4-pin. A lot of stuff is coming with this now. Cables looks dope. Let me put that over there. Let's go ahead and take a look at these, because I don't want to make, I'm not going to take the plastic off. Let me just put it that way. This might be somebody else's someday. You can take a look at pictures of this on the internet. They look really sharp. Kinera's always put out some really, really beauts. If we turn it over here, it's got the 3 nozzles. I'm sure that one is for the EST, one is for the BAs, one is for the dynamic driver. Looks a lot like the Smile that is on the Fat Frequency Maestro special edition, actually. And then on this side, we've got Z's logo on spacey Nicolas Cage, you know, that gif where he's just like, yeah. Kind of looks like that, like his logo's coming out of there. It looks interesting. I'm thinking for somebody that is so popular like him, that a monochrome version of his icon is something that might sometimes be applicable to other sets, like on the inside, on the outside. Of course, this is a limited run of 200 units, so these are for hardcore fans or people that like Zeos. He's a nice guy. He's been in the hobby for a long time. But I'm predicting that there's probably going to be a logo like this. It's done in like a black and white or simpler, because it'll be more subtle, maybe for future collabs. It's not a problem, but it's definitely, you'll notice it right there. If you're concerned with people, or people casually stand 1.5 feet away from you while looking at the side of your head, that would really be a bad life to be living. But that might concern you if you got people like that hanging around you. Otherwise, I don't think it's a problem. People don't stand that close to me. So that's what it looks like in the box. Let me go ahead and shut this down. And let's go ahead and talk about some music. Okay, let's talk about some music. Let's take a look at the graph one more time in case you weren't paying attention the first time. It looks really nice. The 5K might be a little energetic on electric guitars with distortion pedals, but that's really the only thing that I'm finding with it, and that's actually maybe something that a lot of people like. Let's start in the low end with sub bass, with stuff that's old school 808 Roland deck mix stuff. Pack Like Sardines, Tupac Violent, Kill Jill, Angel by Massive Attack, the low drone, the constant beat that goes on. It can sometimes get in the way of single dynamic drivers and the performance of the mid frequencies, because the dynamic driver is being overwhelmed. This is a tribrid, so it's not having an issue like that. Also, the tuning of it lends itself to doing a very good job with that low sub bass without seeming to kind of get in the way or create some kind of a haze or veil. The tuning is again like the Elysian X, and again like my Target. It's matching to my preference because of the way that it plays back bass guitars. Let's move right into bass guitars. There's a Sultans of Swing, Black Sabbath, Violent Femmes. Sultans of Swing is the mid bass check. If the mid bass is a little bit too forward, the basses are going to sound like he's crowding or competing for a virtual space with the lead singer, which is not really something anybody wants to listen to because that's not how it's mixed, produced. It's not even how it sounds when you listen to it live, unless you're right next to the bassist amp, which wouldn't be the best seats to have. This sounds proper. It sounds like the bassist is pinning down the track. There's energy to the pulls and the plucks and the releases of the bass strings. Mark Knopfler's vocals sound excellent. The bassist sounds like he is doing his job and pinning down the track, and there's nothing notable outside of that. I do notice the hi-hat opening and closing and the subtle things going on. The resolution of this set is quite good. My lack of familiarity with the original one is a slight handicap for my overall opinion, but this does sound quite clean and nice, and it's doing the low end very well. As we get into the drums, stuff like Neil Peart and John Bonham, Limelight, Moby Dick, most of the things in the Led Zeppelin discography. The notable kick drum on When the Levee Breaks from the fourth album has proper authority, or what I deem to be proper authority. It's energetic. It's got the impact. It's also got that produced kind of echo that they did. It sounds what I expect it to be. It's not getting in the way. As we move into vocals, things like Fleetwood Mac and Chris Cornell and really everything that's in my library. Female vocals sound quite nice. There's a part in the rest in peace to Christy McVie. I think she passed away recently. There's a part where she sings in the vocals where it sounds notable, and so the 5K can also get into vocals, but this isn't really a something that's like you get a metallic shine on a BA. You get it's not that. It's a de-emphasis of 5K is going to take away a sense of energy. Boosting it is going to give more energy. What's your personal line is, Christy McVie sounds like she's got energy in her voice. It's not sibilant. It's not overly energetic. It's notable though, and probably preferable to a lot of people that like female vocals. So I would see a set like this and tune like this as maybe being quite appealing to people that like female vocals, because she sounded like she was stepping out of the mix a little bit, and she sounded quite good. And again, I believe she passed away. If I didn't, I feel quite embarrassed, but if she did, rest in peace to her. I use this album all the time. Vocals sound excellent. Male vocals have no problems whatsoever. I think they're tuned great. There's no late treble boost that gives harmonics, particularly vocals, a weird, almost a wobble. It's not there. This is tuned the way that I would like it to be tuned. As we get into strings, Elton John and piano sounded great. This is actually a really good set, and if this is similar to the original one, I could kind of get why Zeos was such a big fan of it, because it is a really nice set. The strings for Vivaldi, I have learned that there's a couple things that will make this not tolerable to this reviewer. There's 2 points. One is that if the upper mid, basically the ear gain, is too much of an angle, I call it an angle of attack. It's a little too abrupt and it's a little bit too high. This is going to be a problem with how it puts out the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth order harmonics of a violin section. That's number one. Number two is 9 kilohertz and beyond, those upper harmonics of strings, if that's boosted higher than the ear gain, that's going to fatigue me. All of the sets, the Stellaris, the Gaia, they all had the same impact, and it was something that made my ears ring. Nobody likes that feeling after you listen and you have a good time and you take it out because you're starting to feel something, and then when you take it out, you're still hearing a slight ringing. I don't have any issues with my ears. That's not something that happens regularly, but it does happen repeatedly when the basically 10K beyond is boosted beyond what is 3 to 5K. That is a recipe for me probably not enjoying, and definitely when I get to stuff like Vivaldi or electric guitars, I'm going to definitely have some fatigue. I think the set's tuning is very good for my library. It does vocals well. It does guitars well, acoustic and electric. It does drums and bass guitars in a way. And before you think for a second, oh, he's dry humping another collaborator, I'd like you to go back and look at the SA6U. I basically said it's the same as the original. The bass switch is minimal in its impact. This set, the SA6U, has maybe better technicalities. I wasn't a very enthusiastic endorser of that set. Make note of that. Keeping your powder dry is important. Sometimes stuff's going to be good. Sometimes it's going to be better than good. I think this is a lot better than SA6U in my opinion, which you might win, by the way, unopened with my initials on the inside. The question's going to be, is it worth the price? That is a rabbit hole. It's too long to even go down. I don't know. A lot of people like the original, and I believe it was close to the same price, so I won't get into value. It's a very competitive world out there. If you spend $700, $800, $900 more for earphones, this is something that I would recommend that you consider. If you regularly spend $100 to $50, I wouldn't recommend it because it's not something that you probably would deem as getting you 10 times more performance because you paid 10. It doesn't work that way, and you know it. So for people that are in this game at this level, I would recommend checking it out. Cable is quite nice. The tuning is good. It sounds good for my library. There's nothing jumping out at me. And that's it. That's the Nan collaboration with Zeos. I guess it's the XZ. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I got it labeled on my graph tool as sample 7 to keep it on the down low until I was given permission, and I got to update that. So if you want to see that and you can't find it, it's listed under sample, and at sample 7 is the specific target. And I'm out. Don't forget, comment below. There's no question today. Whatever you comment. If we get over 1,000, someone's going to get this. If we get not, then it's going to be SA6U, unopened, unused, with my initials on the inside, which is just weird. It's kind of cool, I guess, in a way. It would be like having my own collab with Zeos's or Crin's or somebody else's initials on the inside. Kind of a collector's item, I suppose. Like and subscribe, please. I hope you guys are having a happy new year. Take care of yourselves. And I'm out.